feminist man, I think that toxic masculinity is so destructive for our culture.
Cheers to that.
Right?
I wish all men were feminists like you. It's so refreshing.
Right, here's that check for you, sir.
How dare you assume that because I'm a man that I'm going to be paying for this whole dinner? Women are fully capable of paying for themselves.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to split the bill between you two then?
Actually, why don't we do this so we can really drive this point home for you, because you're giving me very misogynistic vibes. Leave the entire bill, and she will pay for the entire thing because she is a strong, independent woman who does not need a man to provide for.
As a feminist woman, wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, I guess.
In that case, here's the check, ma'am. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Canceled. I cannot believe how toxic that guy was.
Right, so toxic. Oh my god, this is expensive.
Oh, you got it. Give me a push.
Are you gonna help me?
Absolutely not. As a feminist man, I don't want to imply that you can't defend yourself just because you're a woman.
Are you serious right now?
Just capable of defending yourself as a man.
All right. This. I'm dating a conservative.
And that's why, as a feminist man...
Okay, so going around the table, your reaction to that.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. That's it? That's
Yeah, it's funny. Like, it's real.
So then I guess, well, I'll go around the table and I'll ask some more follow-up questions.
Absolutely no.
To
no.
what?
All
no
of it.
to what?
No
to
to
what?
all of it. All of it.
All of it?
If a guy's not like, I'm going to take you to lunch, I don't want it. Like I said, if I'm going out with a guy, I want him to be I like conservative men.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not, I like that. I like an assertive, like confident guy that like can prove himself. Because if I want to marry a guy, I want to be a housewife type thing.
The video, honestly, I think he played her because he knew he didn't have no money. So he was like, all right, this is how you get him, like reverse psychology. I feel like he did not really feel like that. He just wanted to like flip the script to show her how it would feel if he were, okay. I don't like that. Mm-mm.
I don't know.
Okay. Any react? Okay.
Oh, I know the girl. She's my friend.
Oh, you know her?
Her name's Ariel.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, the video? I don't know. I didn't think he was that funny, but I like guys that are providers, but also care about women.
Mm-hmm.
I like a guy that cares about women, but also definitely a provider. I think it's kind of funny, like meeting men that are like, oh, I'm feminist, and like kind of do that. And I have met men that do that, and they make those jokes, and it's like, oh, well, you can pay for it, and it's like, you clearly, like, you're just fucking with it. Like, you're just using that as like a
yes
like, to play with it, to like, I'm gonna like amp that up. Okay, I'm a feminist, so she can afford it. I'm a feminist, but like, you make money. Like, it's not funny, especially when you're dating.
Okay. Morgan, any reaction?
I don't know. I wouldn't want a guy like that, but also I think he's kind of like showing the other side, I guess, like flipping the script.
Ava?
I agree with Morgan.
All right. So then, kind of related to that, who do you think should pay on a first date, men or women?
I think that men should pay on a first date.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I feel.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. How do I want to frame this? Okay, yeah. Who should pay?
What's the framing?
Who should pay? Disregard that. Who should pay?
I feel like I know what you're going to ask.
Just answer the question.
Okay, men.
Okay.
Either men or the person who asked, because I'm not asking nobody on a date if I don't have money to take you on a date. So.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah, second that.
Well, so just one point of clarification. I know sometimes there'll be a tendency to agree with somebody before you says, but just state your own opinion. You can even just state it. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, I offer to pay, but they don't let me. I think they should, though.
Okay.
I prefer men to pay. I'll offer on occasion, but asking out, etc., like men.
What about you?
I would say men, but I would split if they would ask, I guess.
Okay.
Men, but I'm also in a relationship and we switch off and I'm fine doing that.
Sure. By the way, guys, I forgot to mention this. Andrew Wilson's going to be doing a call-in a little bit later on the show. I forgot to mention that during the intro. I'm not sure exactly when he's going to be doing the call-in, but maybe an hour or two, something like that. So going around the table once more, are you a feminist? starting with you.
I would say that yes, I am a feminist because I want women to have the same like opportunities and be equal to men. I think that some of the classic like modern feminist tropes have taken it a bit too far, and I don't agree with certain things in regards to feminism that I think a lot of modern day feminists do. I guess I would consider myself to be more old-fashioned thinking. I used to be more liberal and leftist when I was in Chicago, and I still hold on to a lot of those beliefs, but I think I've become more like in the middle and moderate when it comes to.
For the interruption there. You said
worries.
you used to be a feminist.
I used to be more like liberal, and I guess we'd consider like angry feminist type, but I've kind of found myself as I age and grow and meet more people and open my mind to certain things. And I think moving has changed a lot of my opinions, because I used to live in Chicago and I moved back to LA, and just I think a lot of my beliefs have kind of changed over the years. So I wouldn't consider myself not a feminist, but I would say I used to be leaning even more towards the left, and now I've kind of come to a good middle ground.
When did that switch up start or take place?
Probably like 2.5, 3 years ago.
Okay, 2.5, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
No. I mean, no. Yeah, no. I think I like the feminist movement, but I think the new wave feminism is, like, I agree. It's taken it way too far. I think that people who are still protesting for, like, there's no rights for women here. I don't think that there's an opportunity that women can't have here. Like, I think in America, everyone can, like, do what they want, whether it's that. Like, if you're protesting for other countries where women don't have rights, I agree with that. But here, I think that I have as much rights as you do. You know, I there's not one thing that you can do that I can't. So I don't agree with that. I think like if you're protesting saying you have more opportunities as a male, I would disagree with that.
Okay. Are you a feminist?
As far as feminism goes, I'm not really a feminist, say per se, but women independence is very important to me. I know that I have been independent all of my life, and I really try to make sure that everyone around me is very independent as far as the women. So I think that as far as feminism, I care about women being independent, but I don't really put it together with feminism. I think feminism is bigger than just women being independent.
I wouldn't label myself a feminist because I don't really know what that comes with, because like I'm not for like modern day stuff. Like I do think that women biologically have these traits and men have these traits, but like I like women. Like I love girls more than men sometimes. They make me feel safe.
I wouldn't say I'm a feminist. I do empower women to be independent and seek opportunity and everything, but I think it's already equal at this point, especially in these states. I agree, and I recognize that in other places, obviously, there's not nearly as much equality, but not a new wave or anything feminist by any means.
So I guess going back to you, you seemed like, and especially, I'll get into the notes here in a bit, you said pretty strongly that you think men should pay. You also consider yourself a feminist. You said men and women should have the same opportunities. Women should be equal to men. I guess, how do you reconcile all that with
Men should pay on
men
the
should
first
pay
date?
for first dates? Yes.
I said I've become more old-fashioned. I would ask to split. However, I feel like I kind of relate to the clip that I saw where I think that, like, if I'm going, like, because I do identify as bi or queer, so it's like I'm open to dating women, but I think that a good thing about dating a man is like they're going to like be able to maybe provide more, at least in my experience. I know some women are the providers in their relationships, but that's just not the kind of relationship that I'm looking for. But like some of the other ladies here at the table said, I am willing and offering to pay, but I think that if a guy asks a girl out, then he should be the one to pay.
Okay. Well, so that kind of goes into the whole like, well, whoever asks should pay thing, right?
If a girl is asking a guy out, I think that's already an issue.
Why is that an issue?
I just don't think that I think that that's where it kind of gets like harder into like being like a certain side feminist, I guess, where like you want to chase men, but I think that men naturally want to be the pursuers and they want to chase. I mean, this is just like majority. I think there's like
Majority of what?
Majority of our American society.
Well, I don't know if it's actually the case that the majority of men want to be pursuers, insofar as a majority of men are never pursued. So they would actually have no perspective as to
I think
what
some have been.
Well, that's not what I said, though.
I feel like majority haven't.
So what percentage of men do you think have been pursued by women?
I mean, I guess if we're talking about like the levels of attractiveness, then probably like the top like 10, 9, 8, 7s would be getting pursued by women who are like a lower point system. So like the 4s, the 3s, the 2s. If that's like a thing we want to base dating off of,
Sure.
which I think a lot of men do. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the exact numbers. There is some data that's related to the dating apps, but
I know it's not great for men on dating apps. Majority of men.
well, it's definitely worse on dating apps, but I would say the sort of experience that men have on dating apps is probably fairly similar to the experience they would otherwise have in the, I guess, quote unquote, normal dating world, so outside of dating apps. So guys who never get messages on dating apps never get approached in person. You're actually probably more likely to get initiated on by a woman on a dating app than you are in person.
In person?
Most men never have the experience of ever being hit on, ever being approached. And so I don't actually believe, I think the majority of men, I think it's really only the top percent of men would be able to say firmly, I prefer to do the initiating. Probably one, because they tend to have a good success rate. But I would wager most men would actually welcome women initiating, because they struggle.
I think some would.
I don't think it's some. I think the majority,
of men
would.
would?
I do think the majority of men. But that's because most men are invisible to most women. So for them to get positive attention, even if they're not the initiator, I'm fairly confident that they would welcome a woman initiating like that. It doesn't mean that the woman has to do so in a masculine way or be too forward, but even sort of a more
just giving them like a hint
feminine,
of interest,
like a feminine sort of I don't think initiation is necessarily has to be this like dominant masculine thing. A woman can initiate in a very sort of gentle feminine way that I don't think would be off-putting to the vast majority of men, even men who have a lot of options, who might prefer this chase, really. But honestly, I'm not convinced that guys actually like this so-called chase. I think convinced.
They do. I think they do.
I'm not convinced that that's even a thing. I think it's just some trope that we've been told that men like to chase and they don't want someone who's
running away from them.
Disregard. Go ahead.
I don't think they want someone who's actively running away from them chase, but I think they want a little like back and forth. Like, I think they want to know that you have options and that they should put some effort towards being, I guess, your best option.
Okay.
I think people like to. I think that people like to act like they don't like the chase, but like it's a psychological thing, like where you want something you can't have. Like there's always someone above you, like, oh, they have a Rolex. It's the same thing. Like you're chasing something that you can't have. That's where it's at. It's not like you're like looking like, oh, I want this person to hate me. It's like you are chasing something that, you know, you can't have. Like you want them, they don't want you back.
Or you're like trying to win over their affection, like courting. Have you heard of that?
I'm familiar.
Yeah, familiar? Yeah, that's a thing.
But I guess I'm still confused about the whole, so you want the same opportunities for women, you want women to be equal to men, and I'm assume that even, that's not even just legally, you also want women to be viewed equally socially, correct?
I don't see that really happening
What do you mean?
because like women and men in society usually play different roles in society. So it's just, I don't think that they'll be seen socially the same, but opportunity wise, yeah, I would like for women to have the same opportunities legally for sure.
What you say, you don't think women will be equal socially?
No, I just think they play different roles in our society, but like,
Well, let me
I
ask
think
you.
they still can
okay.
have the same like
Let me-
opportunities. I just don't think as a society they're going to see them as the same.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think that it's a woman's job to be a stay-at-home wife and get pregnant and raise children?
I think that's a job. Like
Do you
that's,
think it's women's job?
I think physically they're the ones that typically do the childbearing and
They're the
caring
only-
for.
Well, they're the only ones that can.
I mean, you could have
Get
like
pregnant.
gay men who raise a child together, but typically speaking, here in a heterosexual, all
Sure,
terms,
yes.
then yeah, I think that I would prefer for women to stay at home with their children and take care of them instead of sending them off to a daycare. Or I've been a nanny before, so I kind of know that side of things.
But I mean, do you object to the statement that that's a woman's job to do that?
No, I mean, I think women should have the opportunity to have other jobs, but I think that if a woman wants to stay at home and raise their children, they should have equal opportunity to do that, along with pursuing whatever other sort of actual business endeavors, like working at a company or starting their own company, things like that. They can work.
Okay. And so, okay.
Yeah, everyone can
I'm
do it
parsing
all.
Well, I guess the angle I'm coming from here is there seems to be a push from feminists to say, like, that isn't really a woman's job.
I don't know who else would be doing it if it wasn't a woman's job. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if there's a section of women who that's what they want to do for their job and their work, and that is labor, it's just a different form than the American corporate attempt at labor. So I view it as equal. If a woman, I think it's crazy that a woman could give birth to a baby and then also go like work a 9 to 5. Like doing that at the same time, I don't think is ideal. It's extremely exhausting.
Do you think that there should be a societal pressure to push women away from
Motherhood.
more traditional gender roles on the woman's part?
I think we need both types of women, like
Okay.
women who want to raise children and be homesteaders and do all of the things for the childbearing and like raising a family, because we do need like family to be important in society, but also I know that being a sort of trad wife comes along with a lot of responsibilities and a lot of different things that a lot of women don't want to do and would rather pursue a corporate type of career or just a career for themselves.
Okay. Because I think in society, at least from feminists, there does seem to be a bit of demonization when it comes to women's traditional roles. So for example, there's a really big push in society to say, hey, women, go pursue your career,
like the 4B movement.
I'm not sure what that is, but they're saying, hold on, they're saying there's a bigger push in society, especially from feminists, of not disregard relationship, but like disregard traditional gender roles, pursue your career over trying to get married and have children. I don't think there's there's hardcore feminists that's like totally reject family and children, but I definitely think there's a bigger push for women to prioritize career over family. I wouldn't object to it as much if it's sort of said either path is okay. Okay, you're a woman, you want to pursue your career, great. You're a woman and you want to just stay home, let the man be the breadwinner, whatever, raise kids, and that's the extent of your ambitions, which I think are fantastic ambitions. If both of them were elevated to the same degree, I think that would be okay. But like I said, there's a push to elevate the go be a boss babe, pursue your career, get married in your late 20s, 30s, then have kids. So I guess my confusion here is essentially we're doing this push to say, well, either one is okay, but it's okay for a woman to do all that, be sort of more progressive when it comes to her career ambitions, but men should still pay for first dates, men should still hold to their traditional gender roles.
I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. I think that men should be providers.
Hold on. What was the bullshit?